Now, this week, you talked a lot about Section 8. You kept asking a question. Are other owners, landlords, investors experiencing what Brian Adamson was talking about when he talked about there being a surplus of Section 8 rentals and a lack of qualified Section 8 vouchers to get those rentals? I'm going to answer that for my market of Gary, Indiana. That's not what we're seeing. One of the main points that I make all the time when I defend buying rental properties or fixing them up, when people say, oh, you're stealing those from the working class who should be able to buy a home. And I tell them, look, when I get a rental property, when I buy a house that's been abandoned for longer than I've been alive, and then I fix it up and I bring it back to the market and I partner with Section 8 to house a tenant, it's quite literally like winning the lottery, because there's months, years worth of demand of Section 8. They've closed the wait list. You can't even get on the wait list to get a voucher to hopefully even shop for a house. So when I get a property to the market and then pair that up with a Section 8 tenant, it's like they've won the lottery. They're never going to leave because they have nowhere else to go. So I'm sorry that's happening to Brian's market, not happening in mine. The question from G Inro 495 says, based on the data that I've read, it seems like Section 8 tenants stay from somewhere between 5 to 8 years. Mike, has that been your experience?
Yeah, and again, only because I had the data and the experience. Generally speaking, it's a true statement, but let's even go a little deeper. Section 8 average in houses is over 8 years. Section 8 in apartments, it's about 3.5. So a little bit longer than cash tenants, but not 8 years. Why is that? Because generally speaking, their goal is to get a house. So they'll take an apartment until they can get a house, and then they will transfer. So if you're talking houses, 8 years, it's a pretty well-known stat. In my portfolio, I did this calculation like a year and a half ago. It was like 8.4 years. So yeah, houses, apartments, not quite true.
Yeah, so I've been in Section 8, using Section 8 for the last 2 years, so I can't, from my personal experience, say I've had tenants stay that long. But anecdotally, through talking to my property manager and other investors in my area, I can confirm that also is what we're seeing, is that they stay for, on average, 7 years. That's one of the reasons why when I place a Section 8 tenant, I'm not sure how they do it in your market, Mike, but sometimes Section 8 can pay like up to like $1,300, but some of that's allotted towards utilities, and then depending on whether or not they have a job, Section 8 might not pay as much. So I make sure that when I place a Section 8 tenant, because I know they're going to be there long term, I want to get the right Section 8 tenant and not just take any Section 8 tenant, because I'm lucky enough to have the choice of countless numbers of Section 8 tenants that are applying.
Well done.